So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a big theater. I've imagined your family.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I think
We're not sluts.
we just love love.
So we're sitting here discussing Whamageddon, and
Yeah.
so we're coming up on Christmas. It is 10% battery power. Wait, I should probably charge my watch. It is, what is today?
December 8th.
We're recording on December 8th, and we're discussing Whamageddon. If you don't know what Whamageddon is, go to www.whamageddon.com, and that is spelled WHAMAGEDDON.com. And the game is Whamageddon. And the point is, you want to be the last of your friends to hear that shitty song, Last Christmas. You know, Last Christmas, you gave me my heart, the very last, whatever. Nobody cares. Anyway, Angela is talking about how she's like, I don't know, I wouldn't mind hearing that song. Even though it's a shitty Christmas song, I want to hear Christmas songs now.
Let me clarify in that I love Christmas. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. And as of yet, I actually have not really heard a lot of Christmas songs.
And
if
we've
any.
been shopping. We have heard them.
I just have apparently tuned them out and I'm in my own little world.
Clearly.
And so, yeah, while it is a shitty Christmas song and I don't actually like it, and it does get very annoying, I wouldn't mind hearing it because then that means that I get to hear other Christmas songs, which I do really like.
Oh my gosh.
But I may have heard it and just didn't know because I was in my own little world and tuned out whatever was playing in the store.
Also, you're like the worst when it comes to recognizing music. You can actually be singing Jingle Bells and go, what's this song called?
Speaking of which, the bird's going to start doing Jingle Bells now.
Potentially, yes. So anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so welcome back to another episode of By the By.
Yeah, less than 3 weeks till Christmas now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks we go on a cruise.
Oh my god, yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So much fun.
And I'm coming up on a birthday.
Yes.
So
The meaning of life.
The meaning of life, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 42. Woof.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all right.
Good 42.
Yeah, 42 is going to be a big year for Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that we have upcoming? We're going on a cruise, so if you're going to be on that cruise ship, prepare to be hit on. It is not a swingers cruise.
It is not.
It is a vanilla cruise, but still, we will,
Still prepare to be hit on.
The new apartment is becoming more apartment-like.
It's beginning to look recognizable as a habitat.
Yeah.
Yes. Our bed got put together today.
Yes, yay!
So 1 week in, and we finally got some folks over to help kind of put the last bits and canopy and everything on.
Yep. We got a new couch today that's yet to be broken in, but it's still on my list for today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's still time tonight.
Yeah, it's still early-ish.
Yeah.
But, and then I think I want to take a bath tonight in my new bathtub.
It's a lot of firsts today.
I know. Look, I know.
Yeah.
I know. So, yeah. Life is going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So in an effort to quiet the bird, we now have the bird with us.
Yes.
So, what were we talking about?
Just what's upcoming.
Yes.
So we actually don't have any big events yet. We need to figure out when the next pendulum party is going to be.
Yes.
And, yeah, what else is going on in the new year, which I have not even really looked at or thought about.
Holy shit balls 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't even thought about what we're going to do for New Year's. Probably go to Our Secret Spot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I could be convinced to go to Our Secret Spot. I could also be convinced by someone to just be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a few friends over and
All right.
do something here.
Yeah.
Just something quiet and really kinky.
I was going to say, because quiet is how we roll. It usually turns kinky and maybe not so quiet.
Well, I want to start
especially
it off
if
kinky.
the gentleman is here.
Yeah, I want to start off kinky. Let's let's go from 0 to kinky.
Okay.
But that's what I want to do.
Right. Right.
I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see who we can we can convince to come over.
No.
Yeah. So speaking of Our Secret Spot, let's talk about the grand opening of Our Secret Spot Annandale.
Yeah, so you heard our walkthrough of Our Secret Spot Annandale last week. And so you got to hear from Jess and Lawrence themselves as to the design, the layout, the thoughts, what went into it. It's a great space, and they had their grand opening a week ago now on November 30th.
Yes.
It was a Saturday night because they're only open on Saturdays at the moment at that location. And we were lucky enough to go along and have a little bit of fun and see a lot of people.
Holy shit, there was a lot of people there.
Let's start with that. So first of all, I think, what was the number?
178.
178 people there. Now, it is a much bigger space, so it didn't feel like, oh my god, I can't move kind of crowded, but it was busy at first. And it was, I mean, spoiler alert, it was typical swinger club fashion in that everybody's downstairs socializing, and then all of a sudden everybody's upstairs playing, and then it's just that ebb and flow where the crowd seems to stay more or less together.
Yeah.
And that, you know, you never really end up with like half and half.
Right.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's weird.
But it happens.
It's weird. Yeah. It was, people were traveling in packs, in herds.
Yeah. So yeah, it was 178 people. It was busy and it was crowded, but it didn't feel like
Overwhelming.
I can't move. I can't breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got there about 30 minutes after opening, so fashionably late. Mm-hmm. And
that's because I had to dig out, find my latex somewhere.
Because it was all packed. And we had Leo come over.
Yes.
There's been some complaints. So, side note, it's tangent. I know, surprising. There's been some complaints that people don't like the name Leo.
Oh, really?
For this person, yes. I disagree completely.
Are they coming from listeners? Or are they coming from that person? People that know that person?
People that know that person, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were like, Leo is not the name for him.
Well.
So,
are we allowed to change names after you have one established on the podcast? Is that allowed?
I like it.
All right.
I like Leo.
Well, then maybe we'll just stick with Leo then.
We do, because it's, you know, I'm just telling people who don't actually listen to the podcast but complain.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. So Leo came over, and we watched Angela get ready. I think it's hilarious, and I know he thinks it's hilarious. So, just a little more backstory on Leo. Leo is, he self-identifies as queer, but has been in a same-sex relationship for a very long time. So, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of experience with women.
Right. But he does have some, right?
Some.
Yeah.
So, he gets here, and I'm dressed and ready, or at least extremely close to being dressed and ready. Yeah. And Angela is basically standing around the apartment naked. She's digging for her latex, but she is naked, like completely naked. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm like, hey buddy, how's it going? Give him a hug and a kiss. And he's like, oh good. And I was like, Angela's still getting ready, and she pops out of the room, out of the bedroom, and she's like, hi! And she's just butt ass naked, tits are flopping. It's great. Yeah. Actually, tits don't flop, they bounce. So we get her all dressed up and prettied, and we jumped in an Uber and headed over to OSS. So we OSSA? OSA? Osa. So we get there. It was just like they described, polished to a T. It was perfect. Jess did some miracle work. I don't know if she had to sell her soul to get it done, but she got it done. The
last few days, the amount of polish and finishing and just those final touches that got done within those last 2 days was just amazing.
The whole place exudes sex. Yeah. It's still... It's
sensualness.
Yeah, sensuality. And it's still clearly on brand with Our Secret Spot, but it's nothing like Our Secret Spot Darla. Yeah. So I love it. It's really interesting. So we got there, and immediately it was kind of funny. Leo takes me to a lot of places where he knows a lot of people, and I'm basically arm candy. Mm-hmm. I think he was really enjoying the fact that we knew a lot of people, and he was basically just arm candy. And the number of times he got hit on, I remember fast forwarding. I do remember once where you and I were standing at the bar talking to somebody, and a single lady walked right up to him and it was so clear she was hitting on him, and he was so kind of adorably uncomfortable with it. Yeah,
it was funny because you were talking to somebody at the bar, and I was sort of in your conversation, but not fully, and so I could have shifted to his, but then I was like, no, this is fun to watch. I'm just going to let him go and see what happens.
Let's just see the cute, let's just watch the cute feller suffer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just for a little bit, you know.
We got there, and we were immediately seeing people that we know and recognize and chatting with them. We got to see Kate and Daryl from Swinging Down Under, and we chatted with them for a little bit.
He has a beard now.
He has a beard now, and
I
oof.
have to admit, so when we very first walked in, I think he was the first person at the bar. He was leaned over the bar, getting a drink, whatever, and we were just, walking in, walk behind whoever's at the bar, and I saw him out of the corner of my eye, but I didn't actually recognize or realize who it was until he saw us and turned around. And then it was like, holy shit. And I think it was a combination of I didn't expect him in that space, even knowing he was going to be there.
Yeah.
But still, I didn't really expect to see him in that space. And then he had the beard, and I love it, but it does completely change how he looks. And so, yeah, it's like I felt a little bad because I just completely walked right past him, and I think he turned around and saw you and stopped you. But
yeah. Well, I didn't see him because I wasn't really looking. I'm very much one of those that I don't see the people immediately around me. I'm always looking out at people. So I did walk past him. But the second he turned and faced us, I knew exactly who it was.
The beard is great, though.
Yeah, the beard's amazing. I did tell him that I didn't mean this nastily, but it came out. I've never found him attractive until he has the beard. And now I'm like, hello. Yeah. So, yeah, he is suddenly attractive to me.
Yeah.
So we chatted with them for a very brief second and then walked deeper into the club, past the pool table because it was completely packed with people and getting used. See, there you go, Lawrence.
Jess,
yeah. Lawrence, it's vindicating Lawrence and validating him, much to Jess's chagrin, I guess. Yeah, so we then, I think we went upstairs to show Leo around.
Well, we tried to go...
Oh, Lawrence gave us a tour.
Yeah, so we tried to get upstairs to show Leo around. So Lawrence was really excited to give us a tour and to show Leo around and us kind of all the finishing touches and everything. But there were so many people that we knew along the way that we kept stopping and talking to people. Lawrence would talk to some people, and it was, very much of a... Hey, we recognize you, we see you, we're going to come back and talk to you more, but we're really trying to get on a tour here.
Yeah.
And so I think probably 10 minutes later, we finally made it to the stairs to go upstairs.
Yeah. And we went upstairs. The lockers were installed. They look amazing. And just showing Leo around. And it was great. I was just so impressed with the layout.
Yeah, and the layout's great. It was good to see the finishing touches put in, and it was so exciting to see Leo's reaction to it.
Yes, he was very excited.
He seemed quite impressed.
Yeah.
So,
after that, we went back downstairs and sat down and talked to some folks. We had some really great conversations with people that we really liked, we really found attractive. Yeah, it was just...
Yeah, and there's people that we've known.
It was good to introduce Leo to these folks as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he hadn't met, I think, the vast majority of them.
Yeah, and it was good because there were people that we have known from Our Secret Spot Darlinghurst. There are people that we've known from the Our Secret Spot in the Country. I forget, was that actually called OSS in the Country?
I think it was OSS in the Country.
People that we know from that. There are just people that we know through Lawrence and Jess, just all different walks, but everybody's somehow connected. And it's really interesting how small the world can be. That being said, there were a lot of people there that we didn't know and didn't recognize, but it was kind of neat just for there to be so many people that we knew, and it's like, I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you, and it's a bit of almost overwhelming because there's not really enough time, but at the same time, I think everybody's in that same boat.
Yeah.
So if you get pulled away or get interrupted, there's no hard feelings. It's just kind of the ebb and flow of conversation and how it goes.
That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were back downstairs chatting with some folks, and then we decided once again that we should go on a tour upstairs. And this was a couple of hours in. We had talked to some folks for a while. So we were meant to go and check out the space and report back.
Yes.
So we got upstairs. We immediately went to the new orgy space. And that was where the first kind of, and one of like a very few weird moments happened. Which was in the orgy space, I think I counted 37 people.
Yeah, I would have said that's about right.
And about 20 of them were playing, and about 17 were just standing around watching. It was silent. Like Dawn of the Dead, silent.
Yeah, like when Bradford says silent, he means no noise whatsoever from anyone. No one participating, no one watching. It was absolutely dead silent. And you could still hear the music from downstairs.
A little.
But there was no dedicated music piped in upstairs. So we did suggest that maybe they put a speaker or something up there just because it was so quiet. And it was a bit unusual because to me, most of the people that I saw there were not newbies. You know, there might have been a newbie or two.
Yeah.
But overall,
I don't know.
I would have said that, these are people that have been to a club before. They've played around other people before. And so there shouldn't have been any awkwardness about noise or sounds or anything in that regards. But maybe. I don't know.
Well, even there was a couple, he was standing and he was still mostly clothed, and she was, they were on the periphery. She was on her knees in front of him, giving him a blowjob, and it was silent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just sort of like...
How do you give a silent blowjob?
And even Leo was like, how do you give a silent blowjob?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just weird. Almost eerie.
Yeah, so we left that space and went then to the other direction, to the left of the stairs at the top, to where the little kind of swing room is, and then the 3 little petite rooms are down there. And we, at that point, as we were kind of walking around and seeing what was going on, the 3 petite rooms, the doors were closed. They were being occupied. I think there was someone in the swing.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of like, oh, okay, what should we do? Kind of figuring out what we're going to do. And right at that moment, Lawrence was kind of gathering everybody and quietening everybody for speeches. And I think there was a performance after that, which admittedly we wanted to see. But it just so happened that when all that started, people go downstairs. And a petite room opened up. So we were like, we can go listen to the speeches and see the performance.
We could go listen to Lawrence, who we listen to all the time.
And the performance, which did sound really interesting, but at the same time it was like, yeah, but there's a petite room available. And admittedly, Bradford, Leo, and I wanted to play together in a more private space. And so we took the opportunity and went into one of the petite rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we had some very good fun in there.
Yes. So I was going to say, the first thing I did, though, I went because I had just taken off my latex. And so it was a bit warm in there, and I was cognizant of the fact that I probably smelled and tasted like latex. So
Latexy.
Yeah. So after I got out of the latex and dressed down to bra and panties, I went to the big shower in the orgy space.
Yep.
The really hugely ginormous one. And it was early, of course, and so nobody else was in the shower, but I just kind of jumped in to rinse off, and a few people kind of looked at me just really curious because I was the only one in there. But yeah, I rinsed off, and there were still some people, even though the speeches and performance were going on, there were still people up in the orgy room. But I rinsed off really quickly and then ran back to the petite room to join you guys. And I found you guys still mostly clothed.
Yeah.
Making out a little.
Yeah.
But
we were trying to say, wait for you.
Okay.
We're trying to, I don't know why. Look, if anything, Leo and I move at a glacial rate. We always have, and we've determined we always will. We think it's our trademark.
Yeah.
Slow. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race.
Don't think I've ever heard that from you before. But
I know,
sure.
right? But it seems to work for us. So.
Yeah. So then I joined in with you guys.
Yes.
And I'm going to say slowly for me, but apparently not slowly for you guys. Very quickly, the clothing came off. First, it was a shirt here. It was, because at that point I was in bra and panties. And so, and started getting you guys undressed a bit.
Yeah.
I think you were the last one undressed.
I know, unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, and so we ended up, I was going to say, just playing with him. And admittedly, because I've not really played with Leo much, and he doesn't have heaps of experience with women, it was one of those, what are my limits with you? Where, what's okay, what's not okay? And
his response to that was great, because his response was, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, his response was, I don't know, and which is a fair response. And so I was like, okay, well, let's just kind of go along, and if you feel like it's going too far, too fast, too whatever, just say something. And as long as you're okay and comfortable to do that, then let's go for it. And he was.
Yeah, but I think definitely he had a good time.
Oh, yeah, because we made out for a while. I don't exactly remember the order of everything, but I know you both went down on each other some. I jumped in and went down on each of you at different times, and...
Yes, you sat on my face for a while.
I did sit on your face for a while.
Still one of my favorite things ever.
I think I was going down on him at that time, if I'm not mistaken. Because that's one of the things I like to do. If I'm sitting on your face, I like to have something else in my mouth. Be going down on someone.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
there was just a lot of kind of just back and forth play with us, and you and he played for a while, and I just kind of sat back and watched, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah, it was really good.
So we wrapped up there, and we all decided that, I remember there was that back and forth of, do we stay and hold on to the room, or we all want to drink? And it was like, do we send one person down for drinks? How are we going to do this? And they were like, ultimately, it's like, let's just go get drinks.
Yeah, because there's other people that wanted to use the space. We knew that there were other people waiting for petite rooms. And it was funny because the petite room walls don't go all the way to the ceiling, and you can hear what's going on in the different rooms.
Yes.
Like, one of the rooms, I think they were reasonably quiet, and we heard a little bit from them, but not so much. But the other petite room had BJ and Wazowski in it, and whoever they were with, and we could definitely hear a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
In fact, so much so that at one point I almost wanted to, except it was way too high, but I almost wanted to, like, peek my head over the wall at them just to see what was going on.
What's going on in there?
But it was kind of neat that, like, you could hear what was going on in the other spaces. I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's
and especially because I guess if you take sex so very seriously, then you're maybe not going to want to hear other people, because you really want to, like, this is my scene.
I want to focus.
Yeah, you want, like, this perfect scenario and no distractions. But we don't really take it seriously, and so we're listening to them and we're laughing at them and even cracking jokes amongst ourselves at what we're hearing, but
not loud enough that they could hear it.
Yeah, but to me that's part of the fun, though. It's just, I don't know, like, just being part of what else is going on around you, and especially in a club like that, like, that's part of it, is having other people around. If you don't want other people around, then
don't go to a club like that.
Don't be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we packed up there. We got redressed. We walked downstairs. And when I said we got redressed, you were still in just bra and panties. And then, so you'd wore your latex dress, and he and I had both worn, like, he wore nice denim and a blazer, and I was in my suit. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we got redressed and went downstairs.
Now, admittedly, neither of you had your jackets on.
No, because it was warm.
You did put on pants and shirts.
Yes.
And we got downstairs, and, I mean, this is, I don't know what time, probably close to midnight or something, and I was like, why do you guys have on pants and shirts? What's going on with this? And so I made you both unbutton at least the top mini buttons of your shirts. I'm like, you need to be a little more casual here, people.
Yes, that's so funny. I felt casual.
It's late enough because you didn't have your jacket and vest on.
Yeah, I didn't take my vest. I didn't wear it.
I know.
But yeah, so then we ended up just chatting with people for the rest of the night. I think we sat down and talked with Kate and Daryl for a while because we hadn't seen them in ages. And then we talked with Lawrence and Jess for a bit, and some of the other folks that we knew from the clubs, and just around, and there was a couple that we knew through Lawrence and Jess, and it's funny because we always see them at the club or with Lawrence and Jess separately, but we never play with them or anything. Yeah. It was good to chat with them for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun just to be social, and and it's such a welcoming space to be social in that. Yeah. And we were exhausted from unpacking, so we needed that change to do something different. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. It was good. It was fun being social. It was fun chatting with these folks.
And admittedly, Leo and I were both kind of eyeing the pool table, but it was busy all night long. And so finally, late, and I might be jumping ahead here, but late, towards the end of the evening, it finally came open. So he and I went over and started kind of just messing around, because at that point I was too tipsy to really do anything much, and I don't think either of us were taking it seriously, but we were just kind of hitting some balls around and making jokes and just, shooting the shit, and that was, we didn't even finish a game before everything started closing up.
Because it was, we started that game right at 3 a.m. and that was when we were supposed to be.
Yeah, I had no idea of time. I just knew that we kind of started it. After a few minutes, it was like, all right, like, lights are on, music's off, like, it's time to go. Let's leave.
Yeah. So yeah, we packed up. I'm trying to think if there's any final little thoughts about the night. But I don't think so. We packed up.
No, I think I will say though one thing to note, because we did call out the fact that the orgy room was so silent the first time we went up, that we were up there several other times, at least 2 other times that we kind of went in and to see what was going on in the orgy room. We, spoiler alert, did not play in the orgy room this time, so there's still something for our bucket list.
That's right.
Our bucket list. But the other times that we did go up, there was more noise. It was kind of what you would expect. You know, you would hear just the natural sounds of people enjoying themselves and having sex and whatnot. So it was better the other times. I don't know what it was about that very first time early in the evening that was just so silent. But maybe it was just people needed to kind of loosen up, get in the groove. I don't know. But later on when we went through, it was a lot better.
And I will say, under one of those times, I did count, I think, roughly 70, 78 people.
Amazing.
So somewhere around between 70 and 80 people.
It did look pretty full at one point. I'm not going to say packed because you can always get more in, but it did look pretty full.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but it was, all in all, it was a great night. It was a great grand opening. I would have called it a huge success.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if they call it a success, but I'm pretty sure they were both happy with the results.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a really good night all around.
So, yeah.
So,
cool. You want to take a quick break here and we'll throw up a couple of commercial shit things?
Yeah.
So one thing to add is if you want to get some sexy sex toys for yourself, adamandeve.com. They have an amazing wide selection of toys and accoutrements for the bedroom. If you use the keyword BYTHEBI, BYTHEBI, you will get an item in your cart at 50% off of almost everything on their list. I know there are some things that are excluded from that, but even those you'll get a discount on. Then you will also get free shipping. And that we know that's across the U.S. and Australia, which is amazing if you're living in the land of Oz. But you also get a bunch of 6 toys kind of thrown into your box for you to play with. Toys for him, toys for her, toys for both y'all, and also 6 movies on demand. So awesome.
It's all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, so go to adamandeve.com and buy me something. What? It's my birthday's coming up, so buy me something.
It is coming up. Maybe I should buy you something.
Yay!
We don't usually do presents, but maybe I will.
No.
Yeah.
All I want is you. All I want for Christmas is you. Last Christmas.
Are we doing the Swim Again thing? Wait, does this count?
No.
If you sing it, does it count?
It has to be actually Wham. It has to be George Michael.
And I have to hear it like on a radio and
well, you just have to hear it. It has to be George. If I played it on my phone, technically we're both out.
Oh, well, that's not fair.
Well, it would be a dick move. But,
yeah, it would be a dick move. Don't be a dick.
Last Christmas. Yeah, but you can hear covers. You can hear other people singing it as well, as long as it's not Wham.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
Join us on The Wet Coast, a podcast about sexuality and ethical non-monogamy of every variety. We talk polyamory and swinging, monogamish and open relationships, from dirty, dirty sex to heartbreak and everything in between. We share our personal experiences and philosophy, observations and theories, what works for us, and where we fucked it right up. This isn't your average couple's explanabrag podcast, though we definitely do a little of that. We share our adventures in open with a unique, funny, feminist, and Canadian approach. Come get wet with us on the Wet Coast.
So, let's jump to something now for something completely different. Okay, so we recently got an email from somebody, and this email struck me at an amazing time. It was a time that I really needed to hear something really positive, and I just wanted to read this email, and I wanted to discuss it a bit on the podcast.
Okay.
So this email says, Bradford, it is Sunday morning, and I'm sitting in bed with a cup of coffee, and the amazing... We're going to redact names. And they're amazing redacted. So it is the perfect opportunity for me to get a few of my thoughts off to you. For the past week, I've been trying to come up with a way to craft this email to resemble something organized and coherent. Since I am neither, I figured I would just let it all hang out and go for it. In my professional life, the presence of someone means a lot and is something that I am aware of, enjoy watching. Yes, a twisted kind of voyeurism. And at Desire, where the construct of defined lines of, quote, normality and sexuality are removed, my voyeuristic kink is well fed, and watching you is a real treat. Your presence was so powerful, open, honest, and contagious that the best analogy is you are the best kind of drug. It costs only a hug and a kiss if you're lucky. It stays with you for life, and the side effects are all positive. Simply watching you and how comfortable you are in your own skin at Desire was so refreshing and beautiful, it allowed me to be more like me, which, as you understand, is not always possible. We're going to fast forward. One last thought for now. When I met my partner, I had a list of fantasies that were like most men's. As she and I started down this lifestyle path, she took care of all of them, and even topped a few. So being the driven man that I am, I reconstituted a new set of fantasies, and after our 2018 trip to Desire, they too were all checked off. This year, I did not come to Desire with any lofty list of what I wanted. My fantasy list was checked, folded, and put away. That was until the hot tub, where the three of us had a nice little conversation and a lovely three-way kiss. That was the first for me, and I loved it. If you recall, she mentioned one of her wishes. I'm not even going to call it a fantasy since reality is so easy. Was the beach bed scene where she was sitting on my face and you and the gentleman come up and give me an amazing blowjob. I was really hoping that we would find a way to make that happen. This scene played out in my mind more than a few times. I just hope we are both able to make it to Cancun next year to fulfill it, or make new ones. So Bradford, you did something that has not happened. I left the sexiest place on earth with more fantasies than I came with because of you. One last thought for now. I had the privilege of carrying you over the threshold to the dance floor, but you are the one that is carrying me, guiding me, showing me how to be, well, me. For that, I am forever grateful. So when I read that for the first time, I was sitting in business class flying to Christchurch, and it was one of those moments where I started actually getting emotional because I was leaving you, Angela, with tons of work to do in packing the house and whatnot, and it was such a stressful time, what with work and everything. The play we had just finished workshopping that the week before, and I was at such a emotional exhaustion. And then we get this email, and I happen to read it. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it's weird to start having tears in your eyes in business class, unless you're just happy to be in business class. But it was such a wonderful, wonderful thing to say. And it really did make my week. And still I read it again, and it really affects me emotionally. And so what I want to sort of address in this is that the freedoms that he talks about me giving him, and that freedom of how comfortable I am, it's hilarious because I definitely portray the person that is always comfortable, but I am never that person.
I was going to say...
You know me.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, so twofold is that you being where you are with accepting yourself and showing the world your, I'm going to say, quote-unquote, true self, that has not come easily. It's taken you a while. You've had a bit of a journey to get to where you are.
Oh, yeah.
And to... I mean, I say a bit. It's been a long journey, and it's a continuing journey to get to where you accept yourself or accept yourself as much as you do, and probably any of us ever will, because I'm not going to say any of us ever fully accepts ourselves, but to where you can do that, and to where you can be open and honest and just kind of let go of a lot of the external pressures. And again, being at Desire, that is so much easier to do.
Oh, yeah.
And especially Desire with the Life on the Swing Set crew, it's such an open, welcoming group that you can just kind of let down a lot of those walls and barriers and just be yourself, absolutely, which is really a very special thing and a very lovely thing to be able to do. But it's different than perhaps everyday life. And while you're a lot of that in everyday life, there's times that you're not, and we're not. We're just because of how life works. So it's definitely been a journey for you to get there. But I absolutely agree with him, because you just have an infectious personality that you, when you're on a high, when you're on a roll, you bring people in, you share that, everybody goes for the ride with you. Now, if you're in a bad mood, you're just a cunt and we just don't want to be around you.
True story.
But, but you really do have a very infectious personality, and people, and he's not the only one, but people enjoy being around you in those circumstances, and enjoy your company, and just really want to take that energy and emulate it. And I think that's a really positive thing, a really good thing, and something you should be very proud of, is to be able to be that kind of a person, that people want that energy and want to partake in it and have it and exude it themselves. And how do we all get to that point?
Yeah. And I guess my thing is, like, I know you and I have talked about this before, is that, people are mirrors.
Yeah.
So if you want positivity, you have to exude positivity. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's very difficult to do that. But I think it's one of those things that it pays back the dividends. It's, people are an investment. And so if you can invest positive emotions into them, then you should.
But positivity is not the same thing as that exuberance. Because, if you look at me, I'm a fairly positive person most of the time.
True.
But I'm also a bit more reserved, a bit quieter. I'm not as outgoing as you are. I'm not as just forward, maybe forward? I don't know if that's the word I'm thinking of.
You're pretty fucking forward.
High energy?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not as high energy as you.
That's true.
And so, sure, positivity is one thing, but having that level of energy is something very different. And that's something that you do have and that you spread. And people want to go for the ride on that.
Yeah, I guess. It's just interesting, because I guess I don't notice it when it's happening.
Yeah.
But I know I want to be the type of person that people want, that I want to be around. That kind of thing.
And desire is such an easy place to do that. Because admittedly, I will say that there are moments at Desire that I am a lot more high energy than I am day to day, kind of around here in life. But it's just, that group is so easy to just drop those barriers, just to be, and not to really think about anything, not to worry about anything. And you don't have to think about how are people going to take me. You can just be yourself, and people generally will accept it. And if not, then that's fine. They're not going to be around you. There's so many other people and other things to do, and you're not forced to do anything there, which I think is the other thing, is that in day-to-day life, we are, I'm going to say, quote unquote, forced to go to work and to go to the grocery store and to socialize with people in different settings, or to be around people in different settings, even if it's just the commute to work or whatever. And so you, at those times, you can either choose to have that, exude that positivity and energy, or not. And you do have a choice in how you respond in those situations. And people are watching you, and you're more cognizant of, this is what's going on around me, so I'm going to behave a certain way depending on what the expectations are. Whereas at Desire, there are no real expectations.
Right.
And there's nothing that you have to do. There's nobody that's going to judge you because, you laughed like a fool while walking down the street. Nobody's going to think anything about that.
Yeah.
But whereas, if you do that just walking down the city street, you're a little more cognizant of, what do people think about me? So I do think it's a little bit easier to do there. But that being said, you do it a lot, Bradford. Like, just every day, you have so much energy and positivity.
It's funny because I feel like I'm more negative than I am positive. It is, I'm not going to lie, it is a lot of effort to be upbeat and positive. But I feel like I reserve myself, I guess, mainly when I'm at home.
Yeah.
So when it's you and I feel like I'm quieter.
Okay.
Is that...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
So you don't get the best parts of me.
I would disagree with that. And to that person's other point about their fantasy, the beach bed fantasy, so they shared that with us, I would say early in the week, at least by midweek.
I think it was maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah?
I don't think it was early.
Okay.
I think it was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, so we're going to say midweek that they shared that fantasy with us. And I will admit that after that, we made a few passes by their beach bed just to see if they were there and see if
that was a popular beach bed.
It was a popular beach bed. There were a number of times that there were other people there. There were also a number of times that they were gone off to the hot tub or somewhere else.
Yes.
But we did make a few passes by to see if we could make this happen.
Yeah.
But
because that was on my list.
Yeah.
I remember meeting them the year before, and he's one of those guys I immediately had a crush on because I'm like, wow. Yeah. And she's stunning as well. It's
Yeah.
like they're beautiful humans, and they're really nice, and they're funny.
Oh, they're so lovely.
Yeah. So
nice.
they're
fun to be around. Yeah.
Hopefully, if we can make it next year,
If we can all make it.
we're trying to figure out if we can do it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if we can make it next year, then that's definitely going to be on the bucket list. Because we did
Early in the week.
Yeah, we did make a few passes by the beach bed, and it was not the scene was not conducive.
No.
So yeah, still on the list.
But
We don't want to spoil all the fun in one year.
That's
you
right.
know, we got to keep going back.
That's right. That's right. So one of the things I want to talk about too is about creating safe spaces, and I think it's funny because I think one of the things he touches on is that the space that I create allows people to feel safe enough to be their authentic selves.
Yes.
That to me is such a compliment. I think there's nothing more important than to do that for really just about everybody who isn't a cunt. So, it's one of those things that you should always try to create a safe space that is conducive for others to be their authentic selves. Because I'm a firm believer that if you can create a space like that, then that allows you to be your true self.
That's a fair point. And it doesn't have to be like big public spaces. It can
No.
be private spaces. It can be
The booth at a restaurant.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can be your home. It can be like your cubicle at work. It can be whatever space is around you. If people know that you're a safe person and that you're not gonna cast a lot of judgment and you're not gonna
Attack them.
Yeah, attack them for whatever it may be. You don't always have to understand people. Just accept that they're the way that they are, and being able to have that space can mean a lot to people, and in ways that you may have no idea what the impact is.
Yeah. And it's definitely a ripple effect. So, one very small act can have huge ramifications that you might never even see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I very much encourage people to try to create these spaces where others feel safe to be their authentic selves. And yeah, I think it is one of those things that you'll see the dividends just in you're a good person. Mm-hmm. Be good people.
Be good people. Absolutely. Such great advice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Be good people. Be positive.
Okay. Now, do you have any other thoughts about that email other than thank you very much for sending that email, and we will try to recreate or we will try to check off a couple of those
Fulfill the fantasy.
Yeah, fantasies. Now for something completely different.
Ooh.
We had a Instagram message a couple of weeks ago asking us if we would ever do porn.
Oh, okay.
So I was just kind of curious, and I think they mean porn of us, not like would we be porn stars, because we will never be porn stars.
No.
But would we ever do porn, just the two of us? And I was curious to see how your response was. I actually did a video response to that Instagram post and posted it on our Instagram account, but I know you probably didn't even see it.
No. I've been so obsessed with everything going on in, I'm going to say, quote-unquote, regular life that I have not really paid a lot of attention to social media, period, in weeks, a month.
Right.
Yeah. So, define porn.
Because arguably, some of the shots that we have put up on Twitter and even Instagram are of pornographic, but I think they mean full sex scenes.
And like video and things like that. Yeah. I'm not going to say never. but I don't know. It would have to be, I think, the right situation.
Okay. Define the right situation. I'm just kind of, now I'm curious.
I don't know. I think it would have to be a setting that felt right, and it would have to be, I'm going to say, filmed or shot in such a way that it was positively portraying us in something that we might do.
Oh, so you're actually talking about having it professionally made, like having.
No, but even if just like, I don't know, The Gentleman or somebody was doing it.
Oh, okay.
But also, you know, and if somebody else that we don't know as well is doing it, or even if we're doing it, I mean, hell, editing can change a lot of things.
Sure.
And so I just would want to make sure that whatever the final product is positive and is true to our nature, which is why we would never do it professionally, because you have no control over that.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at us, we're not porn stars, so there's that.
Nope.
Yeah, so
My porn name would be Rod Dumpy.
oh, I was gonna say, I thought it was Max Power.
Yeah, that's my home porn name. But if I was,
Okay, right.
Like, next on the stage is Rod Dumpy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we would never do it professionally, but I just, as far as like us doing it, maybe like home video kinds of things, but not, I can't think of
VHS
like,
or Beta?
Oh, Beta for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the wave of the future, right?
It's higher quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the wave of the future.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like HD DVD. that would be maybe Laserdisc. We should totally release a Laserdisc. Like, it's the one porn that nobody can ever watch.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to say never, because who knows, at some point we might put something out there for people, but
Yeah, and so my basic response was there's no plans to do it, but that's not to say we would never do it. In fact, if you look on my phone, there's at least 5 or 6 videos of us doing it.
Yeah.
So
But that's for us.
Yeah, and it's for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, have I ever thought about posting that somewhere? Sure. But it is one of those things, like we've said in recent podcasts, once something's up, it can never be taken back.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that
yeah.
that it is, like you said, it's representative of us.
Yeah.
And so that's
why I wouldn't say, like, let's just shoot something quickly and then put it up. Like, I would want to make sure that it's representative of us. It's just of decent nature, and yeah, it's nothing, I would say nothing too crass, because yeah, that's just not us. So not to say that we wouldn't ever do it, but I would want to think twice before putting something up.
I'm thinking of this going, wow, we should post this. I'm now going through the videos on my phone. This was just me going down on you while you're sitting on the edge of a pool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I mean, and the backdrop is...
And the backdrop is fucking amazing. That's tasteful. It's only 10 seconds long. So I guess the long and short of it is maybe we will.
Something like that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. It's funny how quickly you forget the videos that you take.
Yeah.
Especially the naughty videos. So yeah, I just saw one that I'm definitely posting here shortly.
For Christmas. Yeah.
But look, the long and short of it is maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We won't say never, but we also aren't gonna just jump on any old bandwagon with that.
No, agreed. So yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, this is going to be a bit of a shorter podcast because, look, it's getting late and I've got a bath to take.
We have a couch to break in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just got our bed put together, so we have a swing to re-break in.
Yep.
We got a lot of things that have to happen, and maybe we'll videotape them. I don't know.
Not the bath part. That's probably not so exciting.
I think that people want to see me taking a bath.
That's true. Bubbles are fun.
Bubbles are fun. Bubbles! So, yes. If you want to send us your messages or send us your questions, comments, and rude remarks, please email us, theatomsoflove@gmail.com, or you can message us on one of our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. We are at By the By Podcast. We are on Patreon. If you want to help us out, get yourself a cum rag. And one of our new little bags, I think we're going to send those out to some of our cum rag level people in upcoming months. So our little zipper bags that can hold your phone and hold all the fun stuff as you're going to the beach.
Or the club.
Or the club.
Yeah.
Or the house party.
Yeah.
The people in the Northern Hemisphere are like,
Yes.
it's fucking cold. And the people in Australia are like, oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Beach weather.
Find us on patreon.com/bytheby podcast. And, follow us there. And again, if you want to get some sexy toys at a great discount with free shipping, adamandeve.com using the keyword by the by, or geekysextoys.com and use by the by there for an added discount too. Yeah. Any other thoughts,
I think
comments?
I think you've got everything covered.
Cool. All right. Well, sorry for the shorter podcast, but we'll be back at you next week. So love you.
Thanks for joining in.
Bye.
Hi, this is Emily, co-host of the Multiamory podcast. We offer new ideas and advice for multiple forms of love, everything from conscious monogamy to ethical polyamory and radical relationship anarchy. And you're listening to a Swing Set Network podcast. Find us and much more at swingset.fm.